From Bad Monkey Studios in beautiful Amish country, heard throughout these fabulous United States and around the globe on the World Wide Web, this is the B Team with Cory and Jim. This is at least one half of the B Team. Cory right now is M.I.A, but who knows? He either slept in or got called in, or he's doing something out there. It's probably more exciting than the average human does every day. Do you have some shopping to do? The B Team has made it easy on you. Get on the clickety-clack machine, enter in the B Team with CoryandJim.com. Go to the bottom of our homepage and click the Amazon banner. Log into your account and shop away. There's no extra fees or charges to you. You shop as you usually do, but this time you help out your friends at the B Team. Because when you shop using our Amazon banner, the good people at Amazon.com throw us a few pennies. Work hard, have fun, make history. Amazon.com. Tweaked Audio. We've been telling you about Tweaked Audio for some time. Tweaked Audio has one mission: to provide audiophiles around the world with high-quality audio products at affordable prices. They have all the most popular colors and styles you can't find just anywhere. They have Bluetooth, sport, metal, and even wood earbuds. I've seen those, and they're really cool looking. They're mic'd and unmic'd, over-the-ear headphones, and all the accessories to keep you tweaked. Go to tweakedaudio.com to get great earbuds. Use discount code BTEAM at checkout and get 33% off all orders. That's BTEAM at checkout for 33% off all of your orders. Plus, they have free worldwide shipping and a lifetime limited warranty. Tweaked Audio sounds better. Tweaked Audio announces the launch of Video Sticker. It makes every gift more personal. Go to www.videosticker.com. That's video sticker without an E in there. That's VIDEOSTICKR, not CKER.com, and check it out. Buy some and start making your gifts more personal. Check free shipping at checkout. Attach a video sticker to any gift card, or greeting card. On your smartphone, you can go to the URL on the video sticker or just scan the QR code and enter the unique code. Now you'll be prompted to record a personal message. It can be video, a picture, or text. When the recipient enters that same code, they'll be wowed by your video, picture, or texts. What that is it looks like a gift card that you can purchase from Video Sticker, and with that gift card, it has a QR label code on it, or it has a special code that you can get online and check it out, and you can leave a personal message for somebody on one of their gifts or something like that. So I think people are going to like that a lot. And again, that's from Tweaked Audio. So go to tweakedaudio.com and check that out. Ian Lashley is an NCCA recognized personal trainer through Action Certificate. He has a 4-stripe blue belt in Brazilian Jiu Jitsu. Ian personally trains clients one-on-one and in semi-private sessions. He trains clients in Jiu Jitsu, strength training, athletic development and performance, and weight loss. A quote from Ian is, "There's nothing special about normal, and if it was easy, everyone would do it." That makes a lot of sense. So, Ian Lashley, thank you for coming in.
Yeah, thanks for having me on the show. I was looking forward to it. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Well, I'm sorry you're only getting half the experience here.
Well, that's all right. That's all right.
Now, first we'll talk about the Lashley Training Center. I pulled this off your website. Our mission is to train everybody with a purpose. Everybody has a purpose or something to achieve. When someone walks into a gym, whatever kind of gym it is, they're wanting to accomplish something and become better. Every single class and objective done in our gym is done with a purpose. The methods you're doing will have a purpose behind them. If you're not training with a purpose, why are you training? It's something to ask yourself and dig down deep to find what gives you drive. All of our instructors are very passionate at their specialty. Come train with a purpose at LJJA Training Center. We look forward to having you. Now, the Lashley Training Center, that's in Mount Vernon, Ohio. Correct?
Yes, it's in Mount Vernon, Ohio on South Main Street, right across from Domino's and like the old tobacco and candy place, or like the Kenyan place now. But yeah, it's right down there beside that.
I like your description because if I'm reading into it correctly, you keep talking about doing things with a purpose.
Yeah.
So I take that as you mean you're training people to fight. You're not training people how to get their next belt.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. With our training methods, my dad always taught me is I got that motto from him, fitness with a purpose. Because when you do jiu-jitsu, you're not learning how to just get in better shape also, but you're also learning how to defend yourself, and you're getting the best physical shape of your life. So like a lot of people do I'm just going to use CrossFit as an example, or some exercise thing. I mean, yeah, you're getting in physically good shape, exercising, but what are you going to do when someone tries to attack you? You're going to run away from them as fast as you can. So that's why we have jiu-jitsu, fitness with a purpose, because you're learning how to actually defend yourself. If someone comes up to you and wants to try to attack you, or you're getting in a bad scenario, you know how to take care of yourself, as well as being in good physical shape yourself.
Right.
So that's kind of where that all originated from. So,
well, anyone who has taken their child to your average taekwondo class,
yeah,
there's a lot of doing forms, a lot of fighting the air, as some people call it, just going through forms, trying to get that next belt. That's where their concentration is at.
Yeah.
But it doesn't seem, at least at the beginning levels, the first few belts, it doesn't seem like they're really learning to fight.
Yeah, the jiu-jitsu belt ranking systems too, it's a little bit different than taekwondo and the stuff like that. It's not all completely based on techniques to achieve the next belt. It's more based on personal development, how like your attendance to classes, how you're doing, and if you compete more and stuff like that. So it's not all just strictly based on knowing techniques and how to just drill techniques over and over again on the air. It's actually a kind of like a personal development and growth that we look for in the students when we actually belt rank them. So I think that's what makes a big difference with that too.
Well, are there forms though to learn? Are there certain things they're expected to know?
Yes, somewhat. It depends on the system you're using. Like for example, like Hoist Gracie and he has it's like 112 self-defense techniques, whatever you're expected to know, to achieve like a certain belt rank or whatever. But the people we go with, it's GF Team, and it's more of, like I was saying, it's more of like a personal growth. And obviously you have to know how to do, you have to know certain movements and submissions and different things like that. But we focus more on if you're actively competing, because if you're competing, going to jiu-jitsu tournaments, you're learning situational awareness, how to actually use the moves, and a lot of that stuff in that general manner. So that's why I was saying it's more of like a kind of like a personal growth versus actually memorizing techniques, you could say.
Right. Well, that we'll get to the nuts and bolts of the training and everything, but I wanted to start off like I start off with every guest by asking. We'll get in, like I said, we'll get into the nuts and bolts, but right now we'll do some personal history, I guess we'll call it. Who do you think you are?
I think I am a jiu-jitsu master.
Okay. Yeah.
I knew you said you were going to ask me that, and I was trying to think of how I should answer. I think like with the gym and just in the Mount Vernon Knox County area, I think the gym that I run and I have is the best gym in the area. You know, I think we're on top of the game when it comes to one-on-one training, our martial arts programs and instructing. So I just think we are on the top of the list if you're wanting to train, you know, whether it be from jiu-jitsu to martial arts to you wanting to lose weight. I think we offer the best service in the area, in my personal opinion. So,
jiu-jitsu has been around for a while.
Yes, yeah,
I mean,
it has.
There's not like. I don't think a school could claim that we have the newest techniques. We have,
yeah.
Are you developing your own techniques in your school or?
So my dad has a black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and Shingi Tai Jiu-Jitsu, and we actually do a lot of more old school techniques than we do like the new style techniques. And I think the old school stuff is sometimes that works. Like I don't. Personally, I don't like that it's just called like De La Hiva guard. A lot of people do like De La Hiva guard now in jiu-jitsu. I like.
Can you tell me what that is?
It's like it's kind of hard to explain. It's just some sort of guard defense if you're on your back.
Okay.
And you're like it's like hooking the legs and grabbing the leg. But anyway, it's just a technique. But I'm like we're into more of like old school like pressure passes, like smashing the person when getting on top, and you know, and pressure and basic fundamental sweeps instead of getting like real fancy, you could say, with stuff. But for how small of a gym we are, we have tons of people going to competitions. Like we'll go to a competition and take 5 people, they'll all get first place, you know, at a giant jiu-jitsu tournament compared to other gyms that may take like 30 people and like 3 of them place or something in the tournament. So
you think it's your back to basics approach?
Yeah, I think it's the real back to basics approach. And we get pretty hardcore for the most part of, as in, you know, our we get down to the nitty and gritty like training, like back to basics, and we do like real basic like live grappling and all that good stuff. It's real basic and nitty gritty and old school, and I think that's what is making us successful.
Am I teaching or am I learning how to fight right out of the gate when I show up?
Yeah. For the most part, we just actually added an intro class, so I think that's helped out a lot with people that've never done it before can go to that. But yeah, you pretty much like come in and you're learning basic techniques, basic fundamental movements. And we've literally had someone come in and like the first night ever, and then they just jump into live grappling and start grappling. Because that's honestly some of the easiest way to actually learn how to do jiu-jitsu is just jumping into the live grappling. But it's very humbling though, because you're going to get like your butt kicked. Like it's gonna happen. I mean, I remember being like 10 years old and you know, just getting beat up all the time. You know, but I think that's what's made me better over time.
Yeah.
It's very, very humbling.
Right. Well, I have to give a shout out to a friend and listener of ours, Ronnie Flynn. He's actually the one that turned.
Yeah. He's been coming in. His kids have been doing the kids jiu-jitsu class, and he's doing personal training there at the gym. So
is he doing any jiu-jitsu?
He hasn't started doing jiu-jitsu yet, but he is working with like a trainer, just trying to get in shape,
strength training,
strength training, and all that good stuff. Yeah. So, yeah.
Well, good. Well, this shout out to you there, Ronnie. We appreciate you and everything you do, and you stay safe out there. How did you become involved in jiu-jitsu?
So basically, I've been raised around it my whole entire life. Like I remember, as young as I was, my dad was always involved in martial arts. He did karate, did jiu-jitsu, but specifically, what I can remember is when I was like 5, 6 years old. How basically we started this is my dad started doing jiu-jitsu in our basement. So he had like the, like part of the basement probably drove my mom insane because you know there's a bunch of guys come over the basement. Half the basement sectioned off with mats and all that stuff. So I remember just going down there, and he's like just grappling around with a ton of different guys, and just there's just guys doing jiu-jitsu all over our basement, like basically my whole entire life growing up until we finally moved out and got a shop somewhere. So I think I was just basically raised in it, and he always did stuff with me. And then I was like, something I can specifically remember is when I was like 6 years old, I was like into WWE, right, and stuff like that. So my dad, like there'd be the biggest guy in the basement, right? They're down there grappling or whatever. I would go down with like a boom box. Because I was like 6 years old, I was like into like Kurt Angle and like Brock Lesnar stuff. So I like put like my wrestling singlet on because I wrestled, and I go down there and I play like Kurt Angle's like theme music and come out and like run and jump on like the biggest dude in the basement and call him out. I was actually talking. He's actually a sheriff at like the courthouse. I actually seen him the other day, and he's like, "Oh, do you remember that one time in the basement? You were like 6 years old. You'd always come down and call me out or whatever." And he's like 6'4", and I was like 6 years old, so I was probably like 2 feet tall or whatever. So,
but ready to whip the world.
Oh, that's right.
Is that something your dad put into you?
Yeah, I always did wrestling too. All the way up through high school, I always wrestled. And all that good stuff too. So yeah, and he was always working with me. And I was doing jiu-jitsu tournaments when I was like 8 years old, and
really,
yeah. So wow. I was like always around it, and I just fell in love with it. That's what I love to do.
Yeah.
I compete a lot now. So actually, I just won my division. I went to Atlanta, Georgia, the Atlanta International Open jiu-jitsu tournament. I won my division, the super heavyweight division. So.
Really? Super heavyweight? Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, there was like, we were sitting in the hotel room the night before, and I was like, screw this, I'm not cutting weight. We're going to this tournament. And so
as you're eating pizza?
Well, there was, so we roomed with like 4 other guys, and we're all sitting there, and I'm like, well, I'm kind of hungry, and like they're all looking at me because none of them can eat because you have to weigh in like right before your division basically starts.
Oh, so it's not like a day before.
Yeah, no.
The morning of.
So that night, I got like an extra large serving of like beef lo mein from Chinese, like a carry-in.
Yeah.
I was sitting there eating it in front of all of them. None of them could. I was like the only person that could eat because I was like 10 pounds underweight.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'm not cutting weight. I drove like 12 hours down to Georgia.
Right.
I didn't feel like messing with that. Screw that.
Yeah.
So I'm sure they love me.
I'm sure. But now you won your division.
Yeah.
In that, where do you go from there, competition wise?
You just keep going to other, like, it's the IBJJF, the International Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu Federation, and they have tons of different open tournaments. So we just go to the next one. I was debating about going to Chicago in August the 15th, but I might hold off and get the next one instead of going to Chicago. So
is that a big one?
Yeah, they're all international open. So
they are. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, my goal is next June, I'm going to go to the World Championships in California. So
nice.
Yeah.
Exciting. We'll be looking out for that. Outside of jiu-jitsu and outside of the gym, what's your history in the area? What's your history in the Mount Vernon, Knox County area?
I've always grown up in this area. I was born and raised in like Howard, Danville, Ohio area. Okay. So like my whole family's been around this area for a long time. Like I talked about my dad, always doing stuff here, and he's worked for the courthouse for like 20 years or something like that. So we've always been around in this area. So I think a lot of people, just know my family, or I've been like I had a booth at the Knox County Fair last week. And I was sitting there, and I had like tons of people coming by and say, "Oh, you're Dave's brother or grandpa or something." They didn't know how relation I was, but they knew I was like related.
Yeah.
Or not grandpa, but grandson.
Yeah.
Or, so I think just a lot of people just know us just from being around in the area, know my family and stuff. So.
Right.
Yeah.
So when you moved out of the basement and into your, you don't call it a dojo, do you? Call it into your
the dojo is more of like an old school like karate karate thing. It kind of drives my dad crazy when people like like, you know, we can't say anything, but if you have like some guy that comes in and wants to be a master karate black belt and has like never done anything before, and they go, oh, it's your Brazilian Jiu Jitsu dojo or whatever, and it kind of like, you know, we kind of joke about it afterwards because it like drives them crazy because it's like, it's not really a dojo.
Yeah, but studio seems kind of light.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it does.
To call something a studio is just like, you know, I think of painting and ballet in a studio. I don't think of you know, dudes beating dudes into submission.
Yeah, we usually just call like a gym. We just usually go to the gym.
The gym. Now you're doing that now. I mean, you're a younger guy, and you're doing that now full time, right?
Yeah,
that's what you do.
Yeah, this is my my full time thing. I went to school. I didn't really know what I was going to do, and I went through college. I got my associate's degree in business management at CUTC, and then I did a internship at a marketing company. And I was like, you know, I had no idea what I was going to do. And I was like, finally, I just sat down. I was like, you know what? I love doing jiu-jitsu. I love training people. I love working out and doing all that stuff. So I said, you know, screw it. After I get done with this internship, I'm going like all in, you know, going to go for it. This is what I want to do.
Right.
So, and that's where I'm at now. Is I went all in. It's going very well so far. So, I've definitely been blessed, you know, in that aspect, getting to do what I love every single day.
Yeah, you've heard that saying, do what you love, you'll never work a day in your life.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I was, when I did my, you know, internship or whatever, it was a marketing company, and they had me just doing, you know, basic, I was doing a free internship, so I was doing basic crap, and I'd literally sit there and I wore a tie. I was like, I wonder how I could hang myself from my tie today.
Well, you're doing, as an intern, you're doing stuff that nobody else wants to do.
Yeah,
you're
basically.
Doing all that stuff. And you have to wear a tie to do it.
Yeah.
So an office isn't for you. That's not your.
No.
That's not your gig.
No. Yeah. And I still have to do a lot of office work now. You know, the basic stuff.
Sure.
But it has more of a value to me since I'm actually doing the office work towards, you know, my business instead of someone else's stuff.
When I walk into your gym, give me a visual of your gym. What am I looking at? What can I do there? I mean, do you have a place where I can buy, you know, protein drinks? Do you have clothing? Do you have?
You walk in.
Give me a layout.
You walk in. You could first thing you walk in the door there. You have, you know, our mats. You could do some jiu-jitsu, some Krav Maga. You take a nice little sharp right over there into the next room. You know, you could get yourself signed up for some nice dance classes, some Zumba classes, and then we also have a massage therapist there, so you can get yourself a nice rub down after your workout.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Get yourself a nice rub down there, and then you know, we have like a weight room and boxing equipment. Oh, we also do have a float spa. I don't. You listen to Joe Rogan podcast. So yeah. We actually have a float spa there too.
Well, explain what that is.
It's like almost like a giant tanning bed, but it's a lot bigger, and it's filled with water and like 1,000 pounds of Epsom salt. And it's basically a sensory deprivation thing. So it lets you achieve a relaxation and meditation, you know, very fast that like a monk would want to achieve. And it also has a lot of like decompresses your spine, your body absorbs all the magnesium. So it's very good for recovery and all that good stuff.
Now you're putting so much salt into it.
You actually float on the. Yeah, it's really cool because you effortlessly like float on top of like water. So the water is the temperature of your skin, and so is like the whole inside of the pod. So like, you know, you basically can't even tell it's there. It's like I do it like every week, and I had some like trippy dream. I was like floating on the ocean or something, and like on the moon, and there was like stars or whatever, and it was pretty sweet.
Wow! Wow! So now, when you're it is an actual chamber.
Yeah,
it's closed in and it's dark. Or?
Yeah. You can have like the light on with it, or you can turn the light off. Like I really get into like a deep meditation if I have the lights off. and the lid if you're claustrophobic, you can have the lid open, obviously.
Okay.
But I like to pull the lid down, basically like a tanning bed kind of, but bigger.
Really?
And just turn the light off, and it's real intense. Like
pitch black?
Yeah,
Absolutely.
like pitch black.
Wow.
Yeah, and it's crazy what your mind and everything can go through. It's like I just like the other time I did it, or whatever, I seen just like colors. I mean, it's just crazy what happens when you shut everything off, like all the sound and everything.
A little panic initially, and then you smooth.
Yeah. Not anymore. Like since I've
Right.
done it so much, but yeah, if the first time I've ever did it, like a year ago, I didn't really relax at all because I was just like basically kind of a little panicky, claustrophobic-y, being stuck in there. But more times you do it, you actually really get into a nice deep meditation and all that good stuff. So,
have you tried the cryo chamber thing?
I have not. I do want to try that. It looks really awesome.
Yeah,
So,
I've seen a few people do it. YouTube videos of people doing it, but that's one I would be interested in.
Yeah, they're really expensive to get one of those. So
it might be a while.
Yeah, the float spa wasn't. We just have one pod, and that wasn't cheap. So
no, right.
Yeah. So, right. But that would be awesome if I could add one of those into the gym or something like that.
Is that pretty popular?
Yeah, I think it's super popular in Columbus. It's been staying pretty booked for the most part, but I think it's more just educating people like what a float spa is. So, but yeah, it's super popular in Columbus. I know a lot of people over in that area that do it like all the time.
Right.
So,
and you have an area of free weights, machines, that sort of thing?
Yeah, we do. Like I was talking about fitness with a purpose. We do all of our stuff is like more free weight, functional training. It's more old school stuff. It's designed to get your whole body. Excuse me. It's more designed to get your whole body, like a whole workout. I just firmly believe in free weights and that like functional training. We do a lot of the old school lifts. Like we make everybody deadlift, bench press, squat. If you're 70 years old, you should be able to bend over and pick your grandkid up.
Right.
So obviously we can we modify stuff for people. We're not going to make a 70-year-old lady come in and deadlift like 500 pounds, but but she should be able to bend over and deadlift.
Right.
We do a lot of very basic active stretching and moving and stuff before to help loosen them up, and all that good stuff. So
good. And like I was asking about, do you have your own line of supplements or that you carry, or do you get into any of that stuff?
I do. I did just come out with what's called a Rue cream, and it's a joint and muscle cream. I customized the formula for it, so it's like icy hot on steroids.
Really?
It's 10 times better than icy hot.
Is it?
And
is it 10 times more intense?
No, but we have stuff that actually reduces the inflammation. So it has like that menthol in it, but then it has like a ton of other things that are actually gonna help take the inflammation out of your joints and muscles. So that's where it really comes more to beneficial than a lot of the other products. Is they're just there to cover up the pain. And ours covers the pain up, but then it also helps try to take that away and actually relieve the inflammation on your joints and muscles.
Yeah. Now, is there anything though that beats a bag of ice when it comes to getting those joints and everything, get the inflammation down after like a rough
Rue cream does
workout?
No, ice is the best ever. I actually just got a like cow trough in the gym.
Yeah,
that I'm going to start clients that want to take ice baths after the workouts. I'm going to start trying to push for some ice baths. So I'm all about the therapeutic like recovery stuff. Right. So
those are popular like in NFL. I know.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how many
tub of ice.
Yeah, I don't know how many too many like 70-year-old ladies are going to want to take an ice bath.
Yeah,
but yeah, I'm definitely going to start offering that and trying to get some people to take ice baths because I like to take them. I definitely feel a difference in recovery.
Yeah,
when I take ice baths. So
yeah, because that's going to be really fast acting and I've had some issues with joints, swelling or this or that, and get ice on there, and that That seems to be the magic.
Yeah, especially when you take an ice bath, what it actually is doing is it's like taking all the blood basically out of your joints and muscles, and it's helping like your body basically reflush fresh blood into all of your joints and muscles.
Right.
Because when you sit in the ice, it takes basically takes all your blood and helps circulate it out of the muscles because your internal organs want to stay warm, so it helps like flush blood out, and then obviously when you get out and you start warming back up, it flushes new blood, like fresher oxygenated blood into your muscles.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
That's part of how it works too. Not only that, but actually the coldness itself, helps reduce the inflammation. But yeah, it's good stuff.
Cool. You got t-shirts, clothing line, anything like that?
Yes, yeah, we have Lashley training center t-shirts. We just got some brand new nice blue t-shirts in. They're $20 if anybody wants one.
Yeah. How do they get a hold of one?
They can come into the gym, and I got them in there. So
no sales online yet.
You can. I think you can actually. No, not yet.
Not an online store.
Not the new shirts. I do shirts and like seasonals. So we have so much stuff going on. Like this summer, I did Lashley Training Center t-shirts with a blue, our motto on the back, and then they're only available for like the fall to winter area. And then come summertime, I'm gonna do like a Lashley Jiu Jitsu t-shirt with our Jiu Jitsu logo on it. Yeah. And a saying on the back, and that'll be like our winter to spring like t-shirt. Just because I have so many like good, I think awesome ideas for shirts and stuff, and people that do jiu-jitsu want to have something that says jiu-jitsu on it and stuff like that. So I just try to rotate through the kind of t-shirts I do. Right. So
I've not been to your shop yet. What kind of square footage are you dealing with?
The whole place is about 6,000 square feet.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's honestly getting a little cramped. So with all the people we have coming in and out,
it's a good problem to have.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, and I want to stay in the downtown area. I love downtown Mount Vernon.
Yeah.
But it's really hard finding a suitable place, to put a gym in with that kind of square footage. And
Mount Vernon is nice.
It is. It's come to it's
college town.
Yeah, it's come a long way.
Yeah, it's really nice. I like it a lot. Well, getting back into the training, how can a student tell if he's improving? If you have a newer student, newish student within his first year, how can he tell he's making improvements?
One good way is if they're not getting choked unconscious. Yeah, that's one good step. If you're,
I got out today, Timmy.
Yeah, I got to go on a little rabbit trail here. So my dad, you go down to this place called the Barn of Truth. It's in Perrysville, Ohio. And I mean, you can already tell it's crazy because it's called the Barn of Truth. And the gym's in the barn. Yeah. But there's a guy.
Sounds like a different kind of church.
Yeah. Yeah. The guy is John Saylor, real crazy guy, but really hardcore, old school, a lot of good stuff. But like the first time I went, I honestly can't like completely remember this guy. I was just so young, but I went down there. I was with my dad all the time. And the first time my dad went down there, he's doing, martial arts and stuff. This guy, they're doing Shingi-Tai Jiu-Jitsu. And one of the things they do, like their new timers they have coming in or whatever, is because like back then too, like 30 years ago, like people didn't really care about hazing and, stuff like they do now. But, but basically this guy, they're like, he's grappling my dad. And he gets him like into like a triangle. I forget, some sort of chokehold, and like puts my dad to sleep. Right, like puts him to sleep, and then he gets a water bottle and like pours water like on his crotch. Right, so it looks like you peed yourself.
Okay.
So
what in the world?
It was real. He tells a story all the time. Just because like if you know who John Saylor is, it's just. But he like woke up, and he thought he like peed himself.
Of course, yeah.
I don't think I was with him there that day when I was there, but I just remember him telling that story all the time. So, because the guy was just crazy.
Yeah, it sounds like that kind of guy would put you to sleep and then continue to torture you while you're unconscious.
Yeah, they thought it was. I guess they did it to like all the new guys or whatever. Like Like,
outside of being crazy, was he a good fighter?
Oh yeah, yeah. The guy was like 18 and like won in bare knuckle fighting or something like that. And
really,
yeah, that's back when the MMA they did the bare knuckle stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was like 18 and won or something in bare knuckle fighting. Was very good.
Very good, very sadistic.
Yeah.
Sounds like
Yeah. Yeah, but he was a good guy though, and very very good trainer, and always in shape. And I like his motto too. When you talk about Shingi Tai Jiu Jitsu, like the Shingi Tai has like a whole meaning of his, as in like it's the physical sense, and then the technique sense, and then the spiritual sense. So that's what actually Shingi Tai like all together means, is physical, technique, spiritual. Okay. So you should always be in the best physical shape of your life, and then you work the technique side of things. You make sure your technique's in great order, and then the last part to complete the whole puzzle is you're spiritually and mentally put together and ready to fight. And that's what actually Shingi Tai Jiu Jitsu all means. So, and I love that meaning for it. So
right,
that's actually how I base a lot of my training when I get ready for tournaments and stuff. Is always physical, technique, and spiritual when I go into battle for a tournament. So,
is there a major difference between the Shingi Tai and the Brazilian?
The Shingi Tai is like Japanese jiu-jitsu, and
okay,
so it's Japanese versus Brazilian. The Japanese does a lot more with they're more into like leg locks and stuff like that, and more like wrist locks, some more of like a certain types of joint manipulations. As in Brazilian jiu-jitsu, they focus a lot on gi chokes, like choking with the uniform,
right,
and stuff like that. So, but they both do everything. It's just the Japanese were known more for like the joint manipulation, like the wrist and knees and stuff like that. As in the Brazilians are known more for chokes.
Right.
So,
now I'm sure there are people from both schools who have got together and had maybe a tournament or something, one against the other kind of thing. Has that come about?
There could be some rivals when you go to like Columbus to a tournament. I mean, it's not necessarily like one school's like invited over the other. They all come, but then one school obviously doesn't want to get beat by the other school, because they do have, just like in a wrestling tournament. Yeah. Excuse me. At the end of the day, the team with the most points, whatever wins like the trophy or whatever. So like if you get like someone gives a submission, they get like 2 points for the team, or if they win by points, they only get like a point or something like that. So then if you say you're from this team, they add up all the points, and at the end of the day, the team with the most points wins like the team division of the tournament.
Right.
Just like in a high school wrestling thing. So they have that at like all the jiu-jitsu tournaments you go to. So it definitely can get a little rivalry, like. Yeah. When you start talking about that in the Columbus area.
But when I go to a tournament, there's not a separation, is there? I mean, I'm here to do jiu-jitsu.
You're talking about fighting your own teammates?
No. I'm talking about the different styles, the Brazilian.
Oh yeah, it's just jiu-jitsu. Yeah, jiu-jitsu in general.
So I could be from either.
Yeah, and like what we do is like Shingi Tai and Brazilian jiu-jitsu. We call all of our programs like Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, but it has a lot of stuff that's like from Shingi Tai Jiu-Jitsu that my dad just adds in. So I mean, we technically don't do Shingi Tai Jiu-Jitsu really at our gym, but a lot of stuff from Shingi Tai Jiu-Jitsu comes in that my dad shows in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. He just like takes the good stuff out of Shingi Tai and puts it in the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu.
Yeah, because if you're at a tournament, you're going to want to know how to do, each style.
Yeah.
If you're fighting someone.
Yeah.
That's good stuff. What do you say to the student who says he can't get a technique down, or he's struggling?
We not all the techniques are for everybody. So a technique that I like and I show, someone else might not like it or might not get it. So like, if necessary, you can't get a technique. Not all the time is it right to just go hey, you should just not do this I'm not saying not do jiu-jitsu, but not do this technique anymore. I mean, obviously everybody needs to know some basic stuff, you know, that's basic concepts, but you know, we just try to go over it with them in detail, and we help them. We've had everybody, you know, some people get it faster than others, but, you know, just taking our time to work with the person and show them how to properly do it. They usually get it most of the time. So
because there might be a workaround.
Yeah. There usually is. And if you don't get it, especially when you get a little bit more advanced, if you don't get it or you don't like it, just don't do it. And it's like I was talking about earlier with that De La Riva guard or whatever. Mm-hmm. You know, I don't like some of the fancy stuff, so I just don't do it. I mean, I know what it is, or like you say how to do it or whatever, but I don't do it because I don't like that kind of stuff.
What do people tend to struggle the most with when they're starting out?
Probably coordination and flexibility. Especially coordination. We get a lot of guys in the intro class, or a person coming in the intro class that, you know, just basically just has no coordination whatsoever. So you're like trying to show them how to do a forward roll, and they're like falling over like a tree on the mat. We've had a couple people like that. It just drives you crazy, but they eventually get it. But it's like no, you don't just. You're supposed to do a forward roll.
If I'm just starting out, no experience, walk into the gym, but I've done my research, I've studied. I'm not a knucklehead who wants to, you know.
We get a ton of knuckleheads. Yeah.
I think we get those everywhere. Yeah. But if I come in, and we will talk about the knuckleheads in a minute, but if I come in and I have realistic goals and expectations, and I say, you know, I want to go into competition, and that sort of thing. What do I need to focus on the most to get there, or do I just need to walk in, keep my mouth shut, do what you tell me to do, and you'll help me reach that goal? Or what do I need to do on my own? How many times a week do I need to be working out? That sort of thing.
I mean, depending on what you're wanting to do. Like the guy that comes in and tells me he wants to be like Conor McGregor, or wants to beat Conor McGregor in the UFC. Yeah, you should basically be there every single day for like 6 hours. Wow. But you know, I'm just saying, most average people, you know, a normal person wants to come in and do it, depending on what they're trying to do. Yeah, just come to like 2 or 3 classes a week. You know, they're like an hour and a half long. You know, come in. You know, you'll get it. If you're wanting to compete or take it more serious, I mean, you can come to it up to as much as like 4 or 5 times a week, and that's definitely plenty. And outside of like jiu-jitsu, I definitely recommend that you do something else, like run, or, you know, you find something else to do for like at least 30 minutes outside of it to help take your take it to the next level. But that's one thing I love about jiu-jitsu. We've had tons of guys that we think are knuckleheads or whatever that come into the gym, you know, maybe have gotten in trouble in the past, went to jail, you know, that kind of stuff. And they come in, they completely like 100% turn their lives around, which is really awesome.
It's discipline, right?
Yeah. And when people, they start doing jiu-jitsu, they learn a lot of discipline. They get a lot of passion for something again. They're having that connection with other people. And then they're like, you know, I love doing this. We've had tons of people that smoked, right, that would come in and do jiu-jitsu, and they're like, oh man, I'm like out of breath. I can't breathe when I'm like live grappling or whatever like that. And pretty soon they'll start trying to quit smoking because they want to do jiu-jitsu better. And before you know it, like 2 or 3 months later, this guy, you know, is completely out of shape, you know, maybe didn't have good self-esteem, didn't really care about anything or whatever, you know, smokes, he's coming to jiu-jitsu 3 or 4 times a week. You know, he quit smoking. You know, he's getting like a job promotion somewhere, and he's, you know, everything in life's just going better for him. And that's what jiu-jitsu personally does for me too. It helps, you know, it helps relieve my stress and help me think more clearly. And it takes
sound body, sound mind, that sort of thing.
So it's definitely awesome what it can do for you when you jump in and do something like that. So,
but as a person who has a passing interest in jiu-jitsu. I want to do something to stay in shape.
Yeah.
And I just have a passing interest. I don't want to be competitive.
Yeah.
I don't want to compete for trophies or anything like that. How many times do I need to get myself in there
at least
to stay in shape?
At least 2 or 3 times.
2 or 3
yeah,
times
2 or 3 times a week. Yeah. That's most guys. We actually excuse me. We actually have a lot of guys that do that come in probably like 3 times a week, most generally.
And you're saying it's about an hour and a half.
Yeah, hour and a
session.
half, depending on what you're going to do. The biggest new thing we have is our Krav Maga class, which is Israeli Special Forces.
Right.
And we have that 3 times a week. And so, we literally just have people coming in for that 3 times a week. We have like a 66-year-old guy and a 70-year-old woman that come in, 3 times a week and do that.
Yeah.
And they love it. It's helping keeping them going, when they get into that older ages of life. You have to exercise to really get the most out of your life.
I think guys like you who work at a gym or work in an atmosphere like that, you learn pretty quick, don't you, that age is just a number.
It really is.
Yeah.
It drives me crazy all the time. I get people I'll get like a 55 or 60-year-old person. You can tell that they maybe don't really care about how physically good in shape they are or whatever, and they're like, I'm too old to try to do that, or I start telling them that they're interested in classes. And like at the fair, I had a couple like older people like in their 60s, like, oh, I'm too old to do that or whatever. And then I'm like, well, we have like a 70-year-old lady that comes in 3 times a week to our Krav Maga class, and they just sit there and look at me and just they don't really say anything. They just like keep walking.
Yeah.
Because it's like they just it's just making an excuse not to do something.
Yeah.
So, and
they're hoping that you will support that.
Yeah, I absolutely
turn
don't.
It on its head.
Yeah, I absolutely don't. And actually, like Hoist Gracie, I mean, he's like freaking like 2,000 years old.
Yeah.
But if you look up any of his stuff or whatever, he's seriously like 80 or 90 years old, and he trains, does jiu-jitsu. Yeah. And he'll like still live grapple people, and he's like 80 some years old. I don't know, he's not 80, but he's old,
right?
And
you still better know what you're doing. He's going to keep you busy.
Yeah, there's
the
tons of people like my dad's karate instructor George Iannarino. He's like he's in his 80s, and he's still doing karate. I mean, I think he has pancreas cancer or something like that.
Okay.
But I mean, he still goes out there, and I think he just placed in a karate kata tournament like a couple months ago, and he went out and did his kata, and he like with his walker. I mean, there's no point you shouldn't stop. It's when you stop is when you really get old. I mean, you just have to keep going.
That's hard though. I mean, to walk.
Oh, it is. Yeah, he literally went out with his walker and like did his kata. Yeah. I think that's awesome.
Right. It is. It really is.
Yeah.
Well, you hear a lot, and I've read a lot about jiu-jitsu, and actually Cory trains dealing with posture and how important posture is.
Like you're saying just like in general, or you're saying like when it comes to martial arts posture?
Yeah, martial arts posture, specifically jiu-jitsu. How do you achieve good posture, and why is it important?
Mainly probably when you're talking about posture is when you're on top and guard. Like most people probably recognize from like MMA fights when one guy's on their back, like in the UFC, then the one guy's on top with his legs wrapped around him. That's like basic guard position. Yeah. But in jiu-jitsu, when you have good posture, personally, I think you achieve the best posture is you have a good base with your legs, your knees, right? Aren't too close together, not too far apart, but like right outside their hips in a good like position. And then what I actually do for jiu-jitsu is I take my hands and I'll grab like actually the pants. Like a lot of people say to grab the belt because you have to control the hips of somebody when you do jiu-jitsu. But I think you control the hips even more when you grab a hold of the pants, because your pants aren't going to move. Like a jiu-jitsu belt, right, is more like up here on the stomach and waist to hold the gi top together so it moves. But the pants aren't going to move so far. So that's why you keep the elbows in tight, push on the hips, and you just have good good posture, like you would be, just how you're supposed to walk around all day. You sit back on your legs,
right,
and you posture up,
right.
So, and it's important because if you're on top and you're like putting your head in someone's chest or whatever, there's a lot of submissions, that can be done, like kind of sneaky submissions, and it's you're not gonna be able to pass their guard or like get to break their guard. Like if I'm like laying on top of somebody, I can't break their guard. So, and it's harder for me to get submitted if I have good posture.
I have seen it happen, and I've seen it just like mostly like on YouTube and in movies. But the guy is on top of somebody, and the person that's on the bottom is wrapped around him. Yeah, legs and feet wrapped around him, and arms wrapped around him, and the guy that's on top like stands up
and like power bombs him. Basically,
is that what that's called?
No, I mean it's just like a just a slam. People can just slam each other.
I mean, the strength you would have to have.
Oh yeah, definitely.
You really got to dig in deep for that.
You're basically picking someone up. So yeah, that would be difficult.
But is that an actual move in jiu-jitsu? Is that
you can't slam in jiu-jitsu tournaments, but in MMA, absolutely. Like if you want to look at something cool, go YouTube Rampage Jackson. He
Rampage Jackson.
Yeah, and
from the A team.
Yeah. He plays in the A team.
Yeah.
But yeah, YouTube like Rampage Jackson slams, and like there's tons of them where he's like getting arm barred or triangled, and he just like freaking basically like WWE power bombs people.
Yeah,
that would hurt.
Yeah. Yeah. You're probably gonna let go if you're the guy on the bottom, or
and actually really like you're taught honestly to never slam somebody, because if they don't let go, it makes the submission even tighter.
That would make sense.
Yeah, especially a triangle choke.
Yeah.
Right? Someone has their legs like wrapped around your throat or whatever, your arms in there, they're doing a triangle choke. If you pick them up and slam them, it actually allows the person to wiggle in and actually tighten the choke even tighter if they don't let go.
Okay.
I mean, obviously, like you could like knock someone out by slamming them.
Right.
But like if you don't make them let go, you're like done for after the slam. Because then too, it takes a lot of effort to pick someone up and slam them, and on top of that, making the choke even tighter. So
yeah, that does make sense.
Yeah,
yeah. Do you have a favorite move of your own? Are you whether it's in a tournament or whether you're just rolling in practice that you are really looking for? If this guy shows this certain thing to you, you get really excited about it.
Oh yeah, my favorite choke is the butter cutter and the loop choke.
Butter cutter.
But yes. And a lot of people actually call it the paper cutter.
Okay.
But I think that's stupid. It's the butter cutter.
Well, I'm not going to argue with you.
But I've literally won like a tournament. Like I had 3 matches, and I won like the whole tournament with the same submission. The butter cutter. Yeah.
Well, a lot of people just listen. They don't watch the YouTube. But can you kind of explain a little bit?
Basically, it's done from side mount position in jiu-jitsu, and you take one hand basically across the throat and grab the gi lapel on the other side of the neck, and then the other hand comes up under the armpit and grabs the back of the gi, like the back of the clothing.
Right.
And then you basically take the top arm down across the throat to your elbow touches the ground, and then you basically put all your weight down, so you flatten your body out on the ground, and you put the knee that's closest to their body into their hips so they can't turn into you, and then you just crank that sucker, like elbow down to the mat.
Yeah.
And you just crank your elbow towards their ear and push on their throat and pull with the other hand in the armpit.
That's your favorite.
It's my favorite. It's called the butter, because you can imagine their neck being like a stick of butter.
Yeah. Wow. Do you have kids?
I do not. I'm only 22, and I don't.
Okay, you're not.
I'm not even married yet.
There's not a missus.
There's a girlfriend, but no missus yet.
Okay. Well, is she scared?
Yeah. She said I was telling her I was going on this podcast or whatever, and I told her it was like a comedy based podcast. And I mean, if you know me, I goof around quite a bit at the gym. So
good.
Yeah, she was kind of scared that I was coming on.
Well, we certainly do our share goofing around here.
Yeah.
Excuse me. How do you prepare for a competition? Like, let's say if you hear one is 6 months out, how do you crank up for it?
Basically, I do about a 3 month out window of where I really crank stuff up. But basically, like if I'm like 6 months out, I'll kind of maybe just extend what I'm doing. Like the first, like we'll use 6 months. So month 1 through 3 is specifically all strength training, lots of strength training, very little like conditioning. But then I also do a little bit. I do more like some technique work and stuff with strength training, like so jiu-jitsu strength training with the weights. And then when it gets to month 3 months out is when I really change it up. Like so, the third month out is I'll literally do like nothing else besides power lift for a month. The next month, I'll literally do all conditioning. So I cut out all powerlifting.
Okay.
It's strictly all conditioning, and I start doing more start bringing back the technique work, conditioning. I mean by conditioning stuff as in running and all that. But that's when I really turn up the live grappling and stuff for jiu-jitsu. And then then 1 month out, I continue to condition, but I'll stop the live grappling as much because I don't want to get hurt, a month out. Right. And then I'm sticking to more airdyne bike, running. I do very little weight training, like a month to 2 months out. If I do, it's very high rep, high intensity. But then that last month out, I get more airdyne bike work or that kind of conditioning. And then I do a lot of just technique work with no live grappling or anything. So basically drilling moves, drilling situations, and just practicing techniques. And then a week out from the tournament, or even like a week out, I actually won't really condition at all. Like I won't do anything besides basic technique work and a little bit of flow grappling.
Okay.
So
yeah, and these aren't matchups like you see, like you might not know who you're going to be going up against. It is because if it's like an open tournament, right? You might have several people.
Yeah, I mean, you could have 5 matches that day.
Yeah, so you can't just focus on one guy and say, I know.
And it is cool though because jiu-jitsu is starting to evolve to there are having like matches like that where like you basically get paired up with somebody and it's like they have like a fight card. Yeah, which is really awesome. They actually just had one in Columbus called Fight to Win. Okay. And it was basically like that, where they had like 15 matches or whatever on a fight card, and they went through, and it was the only fight going on, and it was really awesome. So I'm glad jiu-jitsu's evolving into stuff like that,
right?
Because that stuff is really really cool, and you get to be in that atmosphere and do stuff like that.
Well, you can't talk about jiu-jitsu without talking about the Gracie family. Yeah, the whole family is involved. Why does someone like Roger Gracie, why do they stand out so much? I mean, is it just the hours that they put in, or? Yeah,
I think too, because the Gracies basically invented jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
Or not jiu-jitsu itself, but Brazilian jiu-jitsu, which is more popular than probably Japanese jiu-jitsu. So they're kind of the ones that brought it to America back in, I think it was like 1946 or something like that. I don't quote me on those dates, but back in the early 1900s, I think they're the ones that really brought jiu-jitsu into the country. So they've kind of always been known about it, and there's like 50,000 of Gracies. Like,
yeah.
So, I mean, they're all very good. I think there's actually a lot better competitors in the Gracies.
Yeah,
like when you talk about going to jiu-jitsu tournaments and being ranked in IBJJF and stuff like that, there's better like competitors than them. But I mean, all of them like are definitely respectable when you talk about competing and stuff like that too. On top, top of that.
Could you imagine getting drunk and stupid and like stumbling into their family reunion and causing problems? You know, start pushing people around.
Well, you know, they actually, when they first came to America, how they would actually sign people up is they would have the Gracie Challenge. So they would basically have a open like fight to the public, and basically it was like 5 minutes, and if you like couldn't get knocked out or tapped out, or you could beat the Gracie, you got like $500 or something like that.
Oh man.
But I think you had to pay like $10 or something.
Yeah.
So I mean, like one of them would like literally like they basically just had this open gym and just fight people all day. But that's what a lot of people like know them from is, and they actually got a lot of memberships because like, you know, basically the people that came in too back then, they were just gonna brawl like bar brawl with them, and then they did Jiu Jitsu, where they like, you know, going to the ground and pull them down on the ground, and they start choking and arm barring people, and like they had no idea what was going on.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. To be on that end of it the first time before, you know, it's in our culture now, but you know, back before you knew about it.
I think there's literally like some pictures if you like type it in Google or Facebook or whatever. There was like one of the Gracies when they're like 16 or 17 years old, like beating some like 30-year-old guy or whatever. Yeah. Just, you know, back then when they were doing like their Gracie's challenge. So it was pretty cool.
Wow. That's good. How can potential students contact you, and what can they expect in their first training?
You know, they can get a hold of me by calling or texting me at 740-398-7410. Or they can go to our website, LashleyTrainingCenter.com, and you can click on Become a Member on there, or fill out there's a form on there. You can, you know, fill out an email to me, or you can just swing into the gym too anytime, so we can take care of you. But the first thing you should expect is that from your first session, it's very an intro session, you know, basic session where you just run over basic fundamentals. You know, talk to them about what jiu-jitsu is like all about, and just very, very basic stuff. So I mean, it's pretty relaxing, and you know, everything. We have a pretty relaxing atmosphere, and you know, generally pretty much. So you know, we're not, you know, the guy that comes in and wants to do jiu-jitsu but doesn't want to live grapple for the first month. You know, no problem. You know, don't live grapple if you don't want to do it. You know, we're not very traditional. You say when like a lot of traditional gyms will make you like bow before you get on the mat, and like bow this and bow during this, or do all this other crap, and we really don't you know, uphold that. It's just my dad just never has. The only thing traditional that we do is at the end of class we have everybody line up, and you know, we'll do our announcements and say thanks for coming to the class, blah blah blah. And then we'll have everybody will bow and go through and shake everybody's hand and tell them, you know, good job or something, you know, something. And we do that too because so when you're leaving class, if I accidentally headbutted you or something, we're all leaving on a positive, good note. And you know, because we're all training partners, we're all trying to get better. Yeah, and we're all here for a different reason or whatever, and we're not trying to kill each other. So when we bow out and shake everybody's hand, we're just leaving on a good, positive note. And saying, you know, thanks for being my partner. Good job tonight. You know, something along those lines.
Yeah, I think that's pretty sound. Yeah, to do that.
But we're just not into some of that crazy traditional stuff.
So you can go to, is it ljja.org?
Yeah, you can. I've been working on like rebranding some stuff since we do so many things now. Because when I took over the business last January, I added in all the fitness stuff. My dad had nothing to do, had never, you know, he like worked, like lifted weights, but really had nothing to do with, you know, fitness stuff. Okay. So I added a ton of stuff when I took over. So I'm trying to rebrand it to Lashley's Training Center. But you can go to ljja.org. I have it. It's all linked to the same website. Okay. I own both domains. So yeah, either one, it'll take you to the same place.
Or Lashley Training Center?
Yeah, Lashley'sTrainingCenter.com. Yeah.
LASHLEY.
Yes.
And for anybody watching the podcast, I will have a card that I put up at the beginning and at the end of the show with all of Ian's contact information. How can we follow you on social media?
You can follow the gym at Lashley Training Center on Facebook or Twitter, Instagram, or you can follow me personally on if you just type in Ian Lashley, you know, like on Facebook, or you know, I'm on Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat, all that stuff. I do a lot of advertising through Snapchat or through all social media platforms. I'm very, very aggressive on them, so I'm always trying to talk to people or whatever. So yeah, feel free to post stuff or tag us or whatever. I'll definitely respond to it and be on there all the time. So
all right, my final question for you, my friend: Mayweather or McGregor, and why?
This is a hard one. I personally think probably Mayweather, because of he's just going to tag and run. He's gonna box just like he always has. He has a lot of experience with that, and he has a very good technique and defense, like a defense. But on the other hand, I think I actually don't know, but I'll say Conor McGregor too, because as in Conor McGregor is like 15 years younger than him.
Right.
I think in order for Conor McGregor to beat him, he has to basically outpunch him, because Mayweather's 40 years old. Yeah. Maybe isn't physically, probably can't keep up with Conor McGregor. So in order for Conor McGregor to beat him, Conor McGregor has to keep up the pace and outpunch him,
because they're taking away a lot of Conor's tools.
Yeah. But I probably at the end of the day, I'd probably have to say Mayweather though, just because. Yeah. Okay. Well, that's our hour, and I can't thank you enough. Yeah, thanks for coming on. Yeah, thanks for having me on. Sorry, Cory couldn't be here. He must have had something. Well, when you guys first invited me, I was thinking, well, the first thing that went through my head was, do I have any warrants out for my arrest in Morrow County? Because yeah, so like, oh, we'll bring this guy in, interview him, then Cory gets to arrest him. That is good stuff. And all I ask you to do is love somebody.
Thanks for listening. If you like what you heard, you can subscribe to our YouTube channel, Point 19 Productions, and to our podcast through iTunes or Stitcher. As always, we ask you help support the show by liking, commenting, and sharing our content. For up-to-date information regarding the B Team, head to thebteamwithcoryandjim.com.